Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about Minecraft Earth. That's right, it is out in selected countries and mine is one of them. So Americans, you're just going to have to watch me if you want to get the content. This first part of the video I tried to record in 4K. Didn't work out, but you're going to watch it anyway. It's a bit stuttery, but just first 5 minutes or whatever, you can watch that and get a hang of it. So let's just jump right into that. So the first thing to mention is it is in beta, which means it's going to crash a lot. Now I have an iPhone 8. Every time I open up the game it crashes like a good 5 times an hour. Maybe more, depends what you're doing. But what I have noticed is they bring out a lot of updates. I think since it came out about a week and a half ago, they brought out 2 to 3 updates. There was an update the night it came out, an update the next night. So they're being pretty punctual on bringing out updates. Several of the bugs that were around on day one are now gone a week later, so that's pretty good. Game still crashes a lot, but it is what it is. And I will say it runs very hot. It's gotten a little better, but when the game first came out, we were getting, it would crash because the phone was too hot. At one point, it popped up on my camera. I wanted to turn on the flashlight. It said you can't flash a picture because your phone's too hot, which is generally a bad indication. So hopefully they work that out. It has been getting better. Now the first thing, when you get into the game, you have to log in with your Microsoft account. I don't know anyone who actually has one of those, but I went ahead and made one. When you first log in, you're faced with a character customization screen, which I just kind of skipped because I didn't want to, and they make you spend money to get anything that's actually cool, and I didn't want to do that, so Steve it is. There was default. There's a couple of things you can customize, but I didn't want to spend the time. I just wanted to get straight into the game. So the footage I have here for you today is going to be of me being Steve, but in the future, hopefully, it will be with my skin that I made with the custom things that you can get. The next important thing is when you get into the game, you're in the world, and you can see the terrain around you. There's the roads, and where there's no roads there's grass, and it's all blocky and it looks fantastic, to be honest. The two important things to note about this is there's tappables everywhere which you can tap on. We'll get to that in a minute. And then there's the compass. And one feature that I really like is when you click on the screen and you can drag your character around so you can look any direction, which is great, but then you kind of have to like work out where you're looking and stuff. So what I found is when they have the option to tap on the compass, which then aligns the map with the direction you're looking, which can be extremely helpful when you just like trying to walk towards something and you don't actually know which way it is. For example, if you're in a park, you kind of have to look for landmarks and stuff, which can be kind of a pain. So it's nice being able to do that and then get out of that mode whenever you want. It's a feature that's really useful, I think. Other than that, obviously, it's Minecraft Earth. You know, the whole gist is you walk around and to tap on things, you have to go places to get stuff. Basically, 2 ways to get things. You either have a tappable or you have an adventure. We'll get to adventures later. For now, let's talk about tappables. So, tappables show up everywhere. It's not... I'm going to compare this to Pokemon Go because that's the game that everyone knows and is going to relate to this. So in Pokemon, if an area wasn't densely populated with people, there was no Pokemon. I remember at my mum's house, not a single Pokemon would spawn. If I was lucky, maybe a Pidgey. And you would really have to go out of your way if you lived in the middle of nowhere to actually find anything useful. You'd have to go to the city or find a park or really travel somewhere to get somewhere. But with Minecraft, what they've done is basically just said, doesn't matter. Wherever you are, there's going to be tappables. So there's always going to be rocks, there's always going to be animals, there's always going to be little bits of dirt that you can tap on, chests, whatever. I think there's more in populated areas, but there is always some, which I really like, because everywhere I've gone, there has been tappables. Gone out to my mum's house, and there's tappables everywhere. So the reason you want to tap on tappables is you can get materials. So if you tap on a dirt area, you can get flowers, get dirt, get gravel. If you tap on a stone area, you can get granite, cobblestone, stone, andesite, all that stuff. With tappables, when you tap on them, you have a chance of getting rare or epic materials. So, for example, from a stone, you're going to be able to get redstone if you get an epic, and a rare could be granite or something else. And it's the same with dirt. When you tap on a dirt area, you can get a rare flower. So there's that, and so you can click on animals, and they can give you rare animals. So chicken can give you like a moose chicken, and a cow can give you like a yellow cow. Sheep, I don't think you can get a rare version, but like a pig, you can get a muddy pig, which is an epic version. So as for animals, you can collect all those, and you can shear sheep and kill cows and get their food. We'll talk about that in a minute. And finally, the last tappable you can get is a chest. So a chest will just have a chance to give you rarer items that don't fit into the other things. You know, you might get a redstone. You might get powered rails. Who knows? Something epic. So that's where you can get from tappables. And you may have noticed that I didn't mention any ores or anything. And the reason for that is because you can only get ores and higher level resources from adventures. So an adventure is another tappable that you can tap on and then place down in the world, and it's an adventure. So when you tap on it, it tells you whether or not it's been explored before, and if it hasn't, then you do the same thing that if it was. You place it down in the real world, and then you can start mining. So if you have a pickaxe, you take your shovel, and you start digging down in this hole, and depending on how lucky you are, you can dig down and find coal, iron, gold, or diamonds, and redstone and lapis and some other stuff. And this is the only way to get coal, diamonds, iron, and gold. So it's really important that you're looking out for these. They're always in the same location in the world. So what you're going to want to do is you want to find an area near you that you can go to, and there's multiple, and they refresh about every hour, I think, maybe half an hour. And then you can incorporate them into your route, if you would. The other thing about adventures is that there's enemies. So there's creepers, there's skeletons, and depending on the rarity of your adventure, it's easier or harder. So if it's just like a dirt mound with a chest on it, then there's going to be a small adventure, and there might be like one or two skeletons, and it's basically perfectly fine, you're never going to die. But if you go into a higher level one, there might be more skeletons, like one of the ones I went into, you can see over here. There was several skeletons that almost killed me, but because I almost died, there was diamonds in that one, so I guess it'd just be like that. There are, you can visually see on the map, there's several different types. Some of them are really large but don't necessarily have the best loot. Some of them are smaller but just have what you need. And you're going to want to keep doing these because it's, as I said, the only way to get ores, which means it's the only way to make better stuff. You want to make an iron pickaxe? The only way to do that is to do adventures. But if you die in an adventure, you lose everything in your inventory at the moment. And by inventory, I mean you get 9 slots in your hotbar, you'll lose your hotbar. So you want to go in prepared, which means that you can go in solo and you can play strategically, but you can also play these with your friends, which I think is a fantastic feature. What you can do is when you click on an adventure, you place it down in the world. If one of your friends taps on the adventure, it'll actually show up for them where in the world you put it, and then it will let them place it in the exact same spot, and you can see your friend with whatever they're holding moving around, and you're both looking at the exact same thing, which means you can have a really immersive experience. I've several times, like, just completely forgot I was in the real world. I'm just walking around in the middle of a parking lot with my friends, and we're just going, we're digging, and people like walking past, like, yo, what are these guys doing? They're all huddling around the hole, going, oh, look at this! I mean, it might look dumb, but it's so enjoyable working together. You know, oh, I'm getting shot, and then he flanks him from behind and hits him a little. Fantastic experience as far as that goes. So I'm looking forward to show off that. Another thing that they have in it is obviously a build plate, which lets you build your own little custom town and place it down on your table and show people. And your friends can join you, so they can just scan your code and then they can see the build plate in the exact same spot in the world, which is fantastic for having some reason to play the game. Because without this, I feel like you're just tapping on things, getting materials for no reason. But to be able to have a set of custom build plates, it lets you really share that experience with others and give it meaning. You can really brag to your friends, like, look at this, look at that. And the build plates come in several sizes. So at the moment, there's just 8 by 8 or 16 by 16, and the 16 by 16s you have to buy with the in-game currency. But in the future, they're planning on adding bigger build plates, so I think they're planning to go all the way up to 60 by 60, but at the moment it's just 8 by 8 or 16 by 16. As for the in-game currency that you use to buy these, that you get that from clicking on tappables, but also you unlock every 5 levels, you unlock a new build plate with a different biome. And as far as I can tell, the only way to get jungle wood is from level 20 biome. So it'll be interesting to see if there's another way to do that, but at the moment I don't know of any. And as for the 16 by 16 build plates, they cost a dumb amount of rubies, or whatever the in-game currency is, which costs like $20. But I'm almost there playing now, almost got enough rubies just from tapping on things. But you can definitely play the game without buying anything and still have a completely fine experience. Because the only thing you can buy is speeding up crafting or buying a build plate. Which kind of rolls me into the crafting system, which is essentially, if you have the materials, you can craft the item, but it takes time. Instead of, taking instantly to craft something, or 10 seconds to smelt something, smelting 60 iron is going to take you 8 hours. And crafting a diamond pickaxe is also going to take you 8 hours. So you're going to want to do those when you go into sleep, and when you wake up, you have a diamond pickaxe. And it kind of, it limits, if you're in an area with a lot of adventures, it actually limits what you can do, because an iron pickaxe will take half an hour to craft, but then you could use more than one iron pickaxe in an adventure. So, I don't really know how I feel about that. It's okay. If you plan on playing regularly, just set it up before you go to bed to craft in the background. When you wake up, it'll be done. Easy, no sweat. Lastly, what I'm going to talk about today as far as explaining the game is challenges. There's challenges. They might be pick up a X amount of sheep from tappables, or place a certain amount of things on your build plate. And to be honest, the build plate ones are a little useless. I mean, you just go into your build place the things that it wants, and then leave, get the experience. But it at least gives you experience and some in-game currency if you do all of them. There's dailies and weeklies, so it gives a little more meaning to actually playing the game, rather than just going, oh, I'm just mining things, kind of pointless. But hopefully they add more incentives, more challenges, more fun things, because at the moment it's quite a fun game to play, but when you sit back afterwards you realise maybe this wasn't actually worth anything? Maybe there was no point to this. I mean, why even have the game open? Unlike Pokemon Go, which has an incubation system for your eggs, there's no reason to be walking around. I just feel inclined to hop in the car, go to Adventure A, do Adventure A, hop back in the car, go to Adventure B, and then realise I've wasted 2 hours of my life. So, I think it's got its fair share of issues, but it also has a fair share of fun and exciting things to do with your friends, and that's really what this game's about. It's about sharing the experience with your friends. Minecraft was never about having an objective. It was about having an open world to do what you want with the people you want to do it with. And I think that really makes Minecraft Earth is exactly that, if that's what you want. So yeah, I mean, I think it has a long way to go. It has a lot to accomplish. Uh, I think the game is perfectly fine to be playing now. If you want to download it, you want to play the game, it's going to be fun. And I plan on making regular videos on it, because every weekend I'm going to go out and I'm going to do adventures. I think in the future they're going to add more updates, and it's going to make the game just even more fun. So, yeah, that's Minecraft Earth. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to chuck a like and subscribe to the channel, because I plan on doing many more Minecraft Earth videos in the future. Probably won't be exactly like this, but hopefully it will be entertaining and you guys will enjoy it. So, until next time, check out my other YouTube videos and stay gravy.